Privacy issues. The right to be free of unnecessary public scrutiny or to be let alone. Once a person is a public figure or involved in newsworthy events, the right to privacy may evaporate. So, in a constitutional law, the right people to make personal decisions regarding intimate matters. Under the common law, the right of people to lead their lives in a manner that is reasonably secluded from public scrutiny, whether such scrutiny comes from a neighbor's prying eyes, an investigator's eavesdropping ears, or a news photographer's intrusive camera. And in a statutory law, the right of people to be free from unwarranted drug testing and electronic surveillance. So here are some four privacy issues, which is the drug testing. Workplace drug testing programs are designed to detect the presence of alcohol, illicit drugs, or certain prescription drugs. Drug testing is a prevention and deterrent method that is often part of a comprehensive drug-free workplace program. Both federal and non-federal workplaces may have drug testing programs in place. So, generally speaking, it states that laws typically allow employers to test applicants for drugs. However, the employer must follow the state's rules about providing notice and following procedures intended to prevent discrimination and inaccurate samples. Next is office and locker searches. Private employers generally have the right to search an employee's locker or desk as long as there is a workplace policy in place that informs employees that they have limited expectation of privacy in the workplace and that lockers and desks are subject to search for legitimate reasons. So, yes, an employer will generally have the right to search an employee's locker or desk in certain situation, and if employee is suspected of having a firearm, dangerous weapon, or drugs, then a search may be appropriate. So, however, an employer should be aware that some states have enacted laws pertaining to privacy rights of private employees. Notwithstanding this, certain precautions should be taken to avoid liability, and it is always best for an employer to obtain employee consent to the policy and prior to conducting a research. Third one is the psychological test. As a selection technique have certain definite advantages over other methods of selection, major advantage is that the test is an objective and standardized behavior sample which lends itself as well to statistical evaluation. Generally, it is easier to determine the value of a test that it is to evaluate other selection devices such as interviews, letters of recommendation, and etc. So, in most cases, the cost of giving tests are not particularly high compared to those involved in interview. This is especially true of paper pencil tests, which could be given to a large number of people simultaneously and can be scored also with equal ease. So, psychological tests are useful in selecting people with promotional ability, discovering reasons for job failure based upon personality traits, and even determining susceptibility to accidents. Then, for the last issues, electronic surveillance. So, it is the act of recording, observing, or listening to individuals in real time with or without their knowledge. Electronic surveillance is typically conducted secretively and does not interfere with an individual's normal activities. So, usually, a surveillance activity involves one or more individuals observing and documenting another individual's actions using cameras, long-range microphones, and listening devices, as well as by monitoring cell, office, and home phone services. So there are the use of various electronic devices provides the opportunity to collect information on anyone at any time in and with varying duration. Surveillance devices vary in size and use. Listed below are several of the more prominent methodologies. So first is wiretapping. It is a multiple wires connected internally to a target's communication device, such as a telephone, enabling real-time monitoring and recording. The next one is bugging. Requires the planning of small electronic device on a person or in a strategic location, enabling individuals to listen in, copy, and record real-time conversation. The next is pen register. So, it is a device placed or telephone line used to identify the telephone numbers of calls made from the surveilled phone. Then, photographic surveillance. This one includes visual equipment such as closed circuit television and digital cameras in various sizes used to photograph individuals. Then lastly, agents and informers. So this one is involves the planting of a recording or listening device on a single person while engaged in conversations with individuals. Thank you.